All right, let's just jump right in. We're about to explore a musical universe that runs on a totally different rulebook than what most of us are used to. It's a world where melody is absolutely king, and harmony, well, harmony as we know it just isn't part of the equation. This is the music of Hindustan.
You know, the author of our source material, Arthur Fox Strangsways, kicks things off with this really powerful idea. See, he's not talking about some dusty old relic here. He's pointing us to a tradition that is ancient, for sure, but also vibrantly, breathingly alive. It's like a direct line to the very roots of song itself.
And that brings us to the big question for our explainer today. What actually happens to music when it develops for centuries with a single-minded focus on pure, unadorned melody? I mean, forget chords, forget progressions. What does that even sound like? Well, let's find out.
Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this, we have to start at the very foundation. And I'm not kidding, this is a complete paradigm shift from the Western musical framework. It's a totally different way of thinking about how music is built, right from the ground up.
This right here really gets to the heart of it. Think about Western music. It builds vertically. You've got a melody on top, sure, but it's supported by these stacks of notes underneath called chords. All the drama, the tension, it comes from that interplay, that conflict between the two. But in Indian music, the whole thing is horizontal. The melody just unfolds, one note after another. All the complexity, all the rules, all the emotion, it's all packed right into that single melodic line. It contains its own law.
So you might be asking, if there's no harmony to create structure and mood, what takes its place? Well, the first of two pillars is this incredible concept called raga.
And a raga is so much more than just a scale. You got to think of it less like a set of notes and more like a character in a play. Every raga has its own unique personality, its own emotional color, and a very specific set of rules for how you can use its notes to bring that character to life.
And this is how that character is built. A raga tells you which path the melody has to take when it's going up versus when it's coming down. It has a key predominant note. It's called the amsa, which kind of acts as its center of gravity. And this is what I find fascinating. Many ragas are tied to a specific time of day or even a season. And this isn't just a quaint idea. It shows a worldview where our emotions are deeply connected to nature. A morning raga is meant to capture the exact feeling of dawn, a feeling that would feel totally out of place at midnight. This is how that single melodic line gets its incredible depth in its own internal logic.
All right, so raga gives us the melodic soul, but what about the structure? What holds it all together in time? For that, we turn to the second pillar, tala, the architecture of rhythm. Now, tala isn't just a beat. It's a cyclical framework. Think of it like a rhythmic blueprint that just repeats over and over again. It creates this solid foundation that both the melody and the percussion can build on and play with. This repeating cycle, it's called an avard.
So let's quickly break down how this cycle actually feels. A tala is defined by its beats and its subdivisions, but the most important point in the whole thing is the very first beat. It's known as the sum. This is the most powerful beat in the cycle. It's the home base, the point of arrival, the moment of resolution where everything comes together. The entire performance becomes this incredible journey of moving away from and then, satisfyingly, coming back to the sum.
And get this, the drumming isn't just some abstract rhythm. It has its own spoken language. Seriously, each drum stroke corresponds to a specific syllable, a bowl. So drummers actually learn to speak these incredibly complex rhythmic patterns before they even touch the drums. It just adds another amazing layer of texture and precision.
Okay, so we have raga, our melodic framework, and tala, the rhythmic cycle. So what does the musician do with them? This is where it gets really cool. They create.
The whole performance isn't about perfectly recreating something that was written down. It's about spontaneous creation within these established rules. And as the source material points out, this skill isn't just a technique you learn in a few lessons. It's a deeply ingrained cultural practice, an instinct that's been honed over generations and generations.
This really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? A Western classical musician is, for the most part, an interpreter. Their job is to deliver a beautiful, faithful performance of a composer's work. The Indian musician, on the other hand, is a creator. Their goal is to compose in real time, to explore the raga, to play with the tala, and to create a totally unique musical statement that has never been heard quite that way before and will never be heard quite that way again.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? Really, it's about learning to listen in a completely new way. It's about finding richness and complexity in places you might not have thought to look before.
So here's the crucial point. In the music of Hindustan, melody and rhythm aren't just pieces of the puzzle. They are the whole puzzle. They are the entire architecture. The intricate rules of raga and the powerful cyclical foundation of tala create a universe of expression that is every bit as profound, as complex, and as emotionally moving as any music built on harmony.
And we'll end with this beautiful thought from the poet Rabindranath Tagore. He's reminding us that trying to just write this music down to capture the vehicle is kind of pointless without the spontaneous, living creation of the performance. It's like having the symbol, but missing the soul. And it leaves us with a pretty big question, I think. What essential, living part of any art form gets lost the moment we try to pin it down?